Hey, hello, good afternoon, morning, evening, whenever you're listening. It's Giselle Quintanilla with Day One. And listen, you are all day ones. I am so excited about this episode. I just have a spirit of expectation, and I'm excited because it is the middle of April and the flowers are blooming and the sun is shining. The weather is getting nicer. And isn't it a great time? I don't know about you, but I always feel more productive when the weather is nice. When the sun is shining, I just feel like, oh, I want to get stuff done, right? So maybe some of you are spring cleaning. That's scheduled in my house. I don't know about you. It's scheduled in my house soon. Maybe some of you are gathering yourselves right after first quarter, and you are like, okay, what am I doing this quarter? What am I getting done? Right, the next 3 months before summer comes. And if you have kids, you're really in the press, right? Because kids are about to stay home. And so you're trying to figure out, what do I need to get done? Or maybe you've had some setbacks. Maybe you have had some setbacks that were major that you didn't realize were coming, and now you have to pivot, or you have to press, or you have to pause, right? So we don't know. Wherever you are, I want to encourage you, and I am excited for you to hear who I have today on the Day One podcast, because I really believe that no matter where you are right now in your journey of creating, uh, of accomplishing the goal that God gave you, right? The assignment that He gave you, wherever you are, I want you to listen to my guest. And my prayer is that it really encourages you to just see what you have to do, right? See where you are and where God wants you to be. So I'm excited. I'm super excited about today's guest, and I am going to bring her on. I'm going to let you know right now a little bit about her. Okay. And so this is Dr. Stephanie Johnson. Dr.
Hi.
Stephanie is an entrepreneur, best-selling. Hi. She is a best-selling award-winning author, a keynote speaker, and leadership and wellness coach, known for helping individuals and organizations align identity, purpose, and impact. Dr. Stephanie has more than 3 decades of professional experience across healthcare, finance, manufacturing, marketing, leadership development, and she brings an amazing, rare blend of strategic insight and real-world wisdom to every stage and every client that she serves. So I'm excited to have her. She is the founder and CEO of the Nello Company, and I want y'all to learn more about her. Okay. She's also the founder of SJE Consulting Group. And I cannot wait for her to share her story with you. So, Dr. Stephanie, I am not going to keep delaying this. You have so many amazing things that you've done. I know you and I have been Facebook friends for a while, right? And that's how,
Right.
that's how we connect through different circles and networking groups.
Mhm.
And one day you're like, you decide, right? You're like, you know what? Let's connect. We need to talk.
Absolutely.
And we,
Absolutely.
yes, and we did. And I am so grateful because you have such an amazing story. So I'm going to be quiet and I'm going to let you go ahead and share your story.
Okay. Well, hello, everyone. Giselle, thank you so much for having me here today. Again, I am Dr. Stephanie Johnson. You can just call me Dr. Steph. Keep it simple, keep it short. Um, as Giselle said, I am the founder and CEO of the Nello Company. And so, what is the Nello Company? The Nello Company is basically a place where I help high performing leaders, right? To be able to tell their story. So there's a whole facet of other things that go along in the Nello group. a podcast as well, which you'll one day see Giselle on an episode of that. But it's a place for leaders to be able to amplify their voice. And especially when you're an entrepreneur and a female entrepreneur at that. That those are the sweet spots. And sometimes we just feel like we can't tell our story. And or do we want to share our story? And I help guide individuals to be able to tell their story and not to be afraid of it and to actually command the room. That's the name of the podcast as I'm relaunching it, that it will be called is Command the Room, where people will come and command the room of telling their story, telling their story in their authentic truth voice. So, and that's one of my missions and my visions, and why I even started in the whole coaching, becoming an author, becoming a keynote speaker, and everything is because I felt like we all have a purpose. And even when we're going through the best of the highs and all the flowers and we're gaining all that, there's a story behind there. But there's even a more fascinating story of how the steps that we had to get through to get there. And not all of them are pretty. I'm currently in a story of my own. Unfortunately, in September, I had a stroke. When I had the stroke in September, found out that I had stroke March as well, previous to that. And recently had another setback, with the stroke and everything. And I'm still going through it. I'm still, trying to recover. I've had to cancel an event twice because of stroke, which I call now a stroke of grace and strength. Because, man, these both times of having to cancel an event, um, most people would just hang up and go somewhere, right? And just crawl in a ball and you would never see them again.
Mm.
I'm not allowing that to happen, right? A very God fearing woman. And as long as I'm trusting in Him, I just got to go through the seasons. And, it's a rocky season right now, so rocky. But I can't let that break me. It's already bad enough that I have to learn how to write again with my right hand. It's bad enough that, just going on a walk, and by the time I'm done, I take a shower and I'm in bed because my body hurts because I can't walk fast like I used to. And I walk with a slight limp. But if that's the worst of having a few strokes that it is right now, okay. And all right, because that just tells me that God's not done with me, that I haven't fulfilled my mission, right? And that's why I want everyone to see this, that, you know, everything and everyone is going through something. It may not look like mine. You can't even just tell other than if I point the things out, but I'm not going to point those things out to you. I had a friend to tell me a couple weeks ago, stop pointing it out. I would never know. And so, when and what I want you to start thinking about on this April 15th day. Yes, it's the midpoint of the month. And yes, we've already gone through one quarter of 2026. But if you are sitting there and for the first couple weeks of this month, you've been sitting to think about how you didn't achieve XYZ in the first quarter of the year, how you didn't achieve it at the end of 2025, and you just knew that your first quarter you were going to be able to do that and turn it around. And now here we are halfway of April, and you're like, shoot, what am I going to do? I don't want you to be discouraged, because you can't be. Because let me tell you something, even in my own circumstance, even in your circumstance, there's someone that's going through it even a little bit more than you. And I want you to focus on all the achievements. The achievement that you smiled today. The achievement of that you even laughed today. The achievement of that you sat through and watched a whole entire movie. The achievement that you did nothing today. Because
Yeah.
sometimes that's what we need. I think, Giselle, I really feel like, and especially as women, we get so wrapped up in our list, right?
Yes.
And so, I have this book here, and it's a to do list. So, and it's all about, and I sit there and I think, wow, okay. But wonder if I couldn't do it. Wonder if God is telling me, put that to do list to the side. Are you going to ignore them? Or are you going to pay attention?
Right.
And the thing is, to pay attention. Because let me tell you, He gave me all the signs. I need you to rest. I need you to rest. And I kept going. I kept going. And then I had the stroke. And in that particular moment, I said, okay, I have to put things to the side. And then as soon as I started feeling a little bit better, in which a lot of people don't understand that when you have a stroke, there are days, even when you've had it and you're in the hospital, you're like, what is, I don't, nothing's wrong with me, until you begin to try to speak
Mm.
and you can't get your words out, or it takes you long to get the brain and the mouth and the words to all sync, and but you hear them, you know what you want to say.
Right.
And because I didn't listen to the warning signs that God was giving me, He sat me down. And even when He did, I was okay. And I was like, all right, God, I'm going to listen. I'm gonna sit down for a while. But then I turned around within less than 60 days, started planning to continue to have a conference.
Mm.
And I was like, oh, I'm going to have it in March. I'll do it in March. And even at that particular time, my speech as it is right now, and I'm still not 100%. But I was like, oh, it's going to happen. And then what did I do? Can you guess? I fell right back into some of those bad habits, staying up late, not being mindful of how much sleep I'm getting, and all because I was trying to get back out there. And He did it again. And now here I am at this point. I'm like, okay, I have to pay attention. So I want you to put the to do list away. And if you do have a to do list, because there are things that have to get done,
Yeah.
and we have to get them done. I'm not saying that you can just ignore what your responsibilities, but you have to take accountability in the fact that you're only going to be able to do the things that you can do, and you have to satisfy at that moment, right?
Yeah.
Um, and the list is going to be less, and it's going to have to be, I'll take care of that in May. I'll take care of that in June. I'll take care of that in July.
Yeah.
At some point, you will catch up.
Yeah.
You will catch up.
That's so good. That's so good. And I will tell you, You, Dr. Steph, talked about how your friend said, stop pointing it out because I never even would know, right? If you didn't tell me, or if, I said that to you when you and I also said that when you and I met, we had a full blown conversation. And I think you didn't share that with me until probably towards the end of our call. And I'm like, what? I did not even, I never would have thought that. I never
Yeah.
would have thought that. Right. But, you know, but you make a really good point of, I want to go back there in a minute, but I want to say that you make a good point of, you have to pay attention to your
Mhm.
body, right? A lot of times you're right. As women, we have this, and if you're a mom, you got kids going on. I will
Oh,
tell
yeah.
you, even this past week, right? This past week I had deadlines with clients. I had college tours with my middle son. My daughter works, so I have to make sure she's good. And
Mhm.
then the week prior, it was the same thing, but I had my youngest had a play. So what I do is when I know I have weeks like that, I am literally like, okay, God, anything I don't have any business doing, remove
Mhm.
it. I am
Absolutely.
not trying to do that, and you're going to have to grace me for this
Mhm.
season, right? And I think that there are seasons that we have to pay attention to when God tells us to rest. We have to pay attention to those seasons because there's reasons for that. So now, you are in a season of getting back, right? Getting back to 100%. And it's not out of like, oh, you didn't do this. So now, but it's more like God is like, I have something for you. And
Yes.
I need to, I need you to pay attention, right? I need you to
Mhm.
have that time. I
Yes.
need you to just be with me. I totally understand that. You talked about, so now going back to your comment that your friend made about not pointing it out, how many times do we point things out that other people would never notice? Why do we do that?
I feel like we do that because we know our deficits. Like, I know everything that is wrong with me. I know everything that I'm trying to recover. I know everything that I have to rebuild. I know everything that makes me cry at night in moments when I'm alone, right? I know everything that makes me embarrassed because Lord knows there's
Mm,
some things that I'm going through that I'm like, how did I end up there?
mhm.
And so we try to explain, right? I know a couple years ago, I said that I was going to stop apologizing. If I was 5 minutes to a meeting because the last one ran over and coming on, and the first thing I say, I'm so sorry, I'm so sorry, I'm sorry, I really apologize. Well, okay, but that happens.
Right.
And in actuality, we should already build in that type of a cushion. For instance, like if you're driving to work and a train, you get stopped by a train. That train could take 5 minutes to get by, and you probably won't be late at all. You'll just get there right at time. Or it could be 10 minutes, and some of the trains that come around here, it could be 15 minutes that you're just sitting there and you have no other way to maneuver around it, right?
Yeah.
Because you have to cross that railroad track to get where you're going.
Right.
And you just do what you can. Let someone know that you're going to be late, but there's no need for you to apologize because you could have left on time that gave you a 20-minute cushion, and because that train took 15 minutes of it, well, and that's no fault of yours. So it's now, if I'm going to offer an apology, I'm going to offer an apology because I did something that was beyond my control. And So now it's thank you for your patience. Got stuck by a train.
Yeah.
But we as humans, and especially as women, we want to make the excuses. And they're not, I don't want to discount them because they are legitimate things that happen.
Right.
But we're used to making excuses to be excused versus just thanking the patience of the individual of being there for you while you had to handle a situation. And that's two. One shows confidence, one shows weakness. And we're so used to showing up in weakness. And so we want to tell our weaknesses, we want to tell our deficits, and that shouldn't be, because
Mm-hmm.
we it goes along with saying I'm not okay, because it's okay to not be okay, right?
Yeah. Yeah.
So just own it. You just have to own it.
Yeah.
And yeah, go ahead.
In what you said with, now it's thank you, and we want to show weakness, but where does transparency and vulnerability as a leader, because you speak to leaders, so
Hmm.
as a leader, where does that fit then? So how do we show up confident but still transparent in vulnerability, because vulnerability as a leader it's not necessarily a bad thing.
Right. It's not. It's definitely not. But when we're showing up in transparency and vulnerability, is the fact it's ownership, right? And it's that you, I'm not perfect. Only he is perfect.
Right.
We're not made to be perfect. We have some breakdowns in communication from time to time. Sometimes we are just legitimately late,
Yeah.
but there's a difference between being transparent, honest, and accountable and still showing up versus not being accountable and running away because we don't want to face it. And the majority of the time, when we're trying to run from things that we don't want to face,
Mm-hmm.
it's we're running from nothing. We're running from our own selves because we don't want to be shown in light. So you have to be authentic. You have to be real. You have to, and the best way is to be transparent. It shows honesty. And that's what I tell any leader. I tell anyone that your transparency is the most honest thing, a form that you can be in and show others. And that goes a long way of just being
Yeah.
honest.
Yeah, I agree with you. I think there is a way to be vulnerable and confident in your vulnerability, and it not translate as weakness,
Right. Yep.
right? So
Yeah.
I think that's really great. You said something earlier that I also liked, because I am very much a time conscious person.
Hmm. Hmm.
And what I mean by that is, if you tell me, Dr. Steph, hey, let's meet for lunch, right? And you're at 12:15. I am going to probably get there a few minutes before. So I am that person who's like, how long does it take me? What time do I need to leave? Do
Yeah.
I give myself some cushion, right?
Yeah.
I'm that person because in my mind, it's not about me. It's about making sure that I honor the person I'm meeting.
Exactly. Yeah.
Yeah, so I like that you said, give yourself that time to be able to then show up at the time you have to show up, or however, right? Everybody knows how they
Hmm.
manage their day. So I thought that was really good, because then it does actually minimize the having to apologize or even having to say thank you for. And now obviously there are things, to your point, and I'm going to tell you right now, I feel like trains are a setup. I feel like
Oh,
they're
oh my gosh, they are. I think they know when I'm in a rush or when it was a day that something didn't go right, and and I had to leave 5 minutes later, right? It,
Yep.
it
They,
doesn't. They
they
Stephanie's gonna be late. Let's make her.
yeah,
Let's yeah. Let's
100%.
embarrass her there.
Right.
Yeah.
The train by me does the same thing. I promise you it does. It knows when I'm in a hurry and I need to cross that road. Or they're like, nope, we're going to go first. Like it, so,
Mhm.
but so there are times where you can't help it, right? And so even with the cushion, something can happen. And so I think that's a good what you said to your point about, just thanking them for their patience because this happened. So there's nothing wrong with the explanation, but not the to your point, overly apologizing and excusing and just
Right.
it happened.
Yeah.
You couldn't help it.
Yeah, because and one thing too, and it's so funny we're even talking about this, but when we begin to over apologize, it discounts what you are apologizing for, right? And that's where it's it's more the transparency and the realness and the honesty of it all, right? Because we can't control everything we would
Right.
like to. Oh, I know us women would like to. We would really like to control it all.
Yes.
But at the end of the day, if something doesn't work out, it wasn't you. Do you ever find yourself realizing down the road, oh, oh God, okay, God, I saw what you did. And
Right.
here I was feeling bad. Now, not to say that you can't feel bad about something, because you're going to feel bad. If you didn't feel bad, I would wonder, are you even human, right?
Right.
But we just we have to just learn what we control, and that is the at least the step forward so that we don't have the mishaps. And then if a mishap does happen, that we learn the lesson behind it and we see the value of that mishap and why it happened instead of beating ourselves up. Because I know being an overachiever and all the hats that I could wear, oh, I could beat myself up pretty well. But
Yeah.
it's changing the mindset of let me learn the lesson
Yeah.
that
That's
it's going to be so much grander for something in the future.
yes.
Yeah.
Speaking to what you said about um the season that you're in right now
Hmm.
and not and just having to pace yourself, right? You had to cancel two events, because you are in this season of getting back, right? To just and getting back to your how you were and you said something so key that a lot of times people will cancel something or something doesn't work out and they just bow out completely, right? They just give up, and you're not doing that. um
No, yeah, because I'm
right.
like, and I don't even really like to use the word cancel because that mission, and that vision, and the purpose, and the whole set of why I want to have that conference, it's still there, and it's so
Yes.
loud and clear. And with everything in the world that's going on right now, oh, it's something that's definitely needed.
Yes, so
Some,
rescheduled.
if it will be rescheduled. I don't know the date right now because I want to make sure that I don't do the same thing that I've been doing, right?
Yes.
Put a date out there and then I'm not to, the doctors haven't even signed off for me to even do it, right?
Right. Right.
So, yeah, I mean, there's enough money lost and everything there, but it's postponed.
Yeah.
And sometimes that's what we have to look at is that it's
Right.
not a cancellation because you can't have it or that it's not meant to be. Sure, will there be some things that will be that way? Exactly. But here's the thing, it won't be like it would have been if it happened. it's going to be better and greater
Mhm.
because I postponed it. And when God tells me, move on it, and He really learning to hear His voice and saying that, it's going to be greater,
Yes.
greater for the good. So,
And so you answered my question, because it was going to be, how do you deal with that frustration, right? Because you're not the only, I'm sure that there are women listening, or, when anybody who's listening that has had a plan, right? Like, I'm going to do this conference. The day one podcast was actually supposed to be kicked off by a conference first.
oh,
And yeah, last
mhm,
2020, oh my gosh, 2025, last year. And I was going to do a conference first, but I just could not. And I'm like, I don't think that I'm supposed to do this yet. So I held off on it, but I still, launched the podcast because I wanted women to share their stories and
right.
encourage other women,
Mhm,
and so that for me was like, how do you show up every single day in spite of challenges, in spite of adversity, in spite of things that come your way that you weren't expecting, right? In spite
yeah.
of all the things, how do you keep showing up every day, every year, right? And so
Mhm,
when you have plans, so you answered that, it was in your mind. It's not over, right? It's not.
right.
Delay is not denial. So right. And so yeah, so for you it was just it's just postponed. It's still going to, because what I love that you said is, because you understand that the mission is important and it is what God has for you. It's just not the time now.
Right. Yep. It's not the time now, and you just have to, jump those hurdles, as it where the time that it is now. I mean, there's more hurdles. That's how God makes you stronger. That's how you become stronger. That's where you learn to be more committed and confident, and um, just I guess the word is stronger, right? uh, and it's all by grace, mercy and grace of God, because everything is on His time,
Ah,
and we just like to take the wheels too much,
we
and
do.
learning how to, okay, I'm gonna let you drive this. All right, I'll turn when you tell me to go right, you know. But it's it's a dire, not a dire, but it's a learning experience, and especially when you go through something um, truly traumatic, right?
Yeah.
And you're just like, because you're so, because girl, I tell you, I'm just so used to hopping up, getting it going, and everything, and now I've just found myself like, who would have thought that I would be on a podcast in pigtails?
They cute though.
Oh, thank you. But there's a time no, I had hair down, makeup, full face, um, and it's like I'm getting on here with my girlfriend, and I'm talking to a whole bunch of other girlfriends, and I'm helping them to
Yes.
just be still.
Yes, and I love that. And that's what I love, right? Dr. Steph, the fact, what I heard as you were speaking is that what you're going through, what we go through, right?
Mhm.
You with the unexpected health challenge, right? Different seasons of our lives when we go through trials, what I heard is it takes a level of loving yourself the way God loves you to
Yes.
be able to just show up the way you show up.
Yes.
That's what the foundation of it has to be rooted in, that God loves you,
Hmm.
and you love you how God loves you, right? And so
Yes.
because of that, you can show up with them cute pigtails, what I'm saying? And I think seriously, and just show up. Listen, this is how I'm going to show up, because this is where I am today. And
Yeah.
I think we need to be okay with that. You know, we need to be okay with showing up how we are, where we are, just fully embracing who we are.
Yeah. Yeah, absolutely. And because, this is when, so people that are getting to know me today, even though, no, it's not a one on one conversation, but they're seeing the real me, right? It's not this, the imagine me. It's me. There's no
Yeah.
performance here. There's nothing. But when I do hop on the stage and you come and see me and you see, like, you're gonna like but you're gonna feel like you're hearing from me because I'm no different. But people get more in tune
Yeah.
to being introduced to the real you, the true authentic you.
Yeah.
And that's what needs to come first before they can ever wound up seeing me or buying one of my books or any of those things. And because even the book is on pause right now. I want to have people that are waiting for that, but they also know I have to take care of me.
100%. 100%. Yeah, if you don't, and this is, I want to encourage the women, people who are listening, it's that comes first, is you
Mhm.
taking care of you, right? So many times we burn ourselves out because, especially if you're a believer, you're like, I'm doing the work of the Lord, I'm doing the work of the Lord, right?
Yeah.
And all you want to do is work, 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 but you don't want to sit with the God of the work, right?
Mhm.
You don't want to sit with him and pause and take care of you because you are his vessel.
Right.
You're not your own
Right.
vessel.
Right. Right. And so I think that a lot of times people feel like, oh, um, I'm disappointing, yeah, or I'm not living up to other people's expectations. But what about your own expectation? How
Right.
can you even fulfill your own expectations when you're always trying to fill someone else's expectation? And half the time that expectation, it's in your head. It's not
Yeah.
even in theirs. I mean, people are going to love you or not, right? Because not everything is everyone's boat. But the thing is, as long as it's about showing up and you being you,
Yeah.
and that's what they're going to connect with, right? They're
Yeah.
not going to connect with anything else. So
Mm,
just take care of you. Take care
that's
of you.
so
That's what
good.
God wants you to do.
Yes,
Yeah.
so good. Oh, thank you so much, Dr. Steph. Listen, I want so we always leave the listeners with a day one move.
Mm.
So give us the day one move for April. We got one in the beginning of April, so now we're going to get a second one this month. What is the day one move? And then share with us how people can reach you.
Okay. So the day one move is take time, sit on your own mountain, and just reflect and be still. And let the wind go by and just and breathe and exhale and just know that it is going to be okay. Keep that faith that everything is going to be fine because this time and whatever's going on, this yet shall pass. Just remember that it shall pass. And on the other side is the greatness. So that's the day one. Just be still and enjoy the moment. Now, I guess, how can you get in touch with me?
Yes.
I guess on all social media platforms, you name it, it's at Dr. Steph. I'm sorry, I just messed that up for you guys. At Dr. Coach Steph Johnson. So whether that's Facebook, Instagram, LinkedIn, you name it, that's where it's at. You can also, if you want to send an email to get on my list, to getting newsletters and so forth, it's hello at coachstephjohnson.com. And just you can connect with me on any platforms. Go ahead and connect with me, because I'll say here in the next couple months you're going to start seeing me pick back up a little bit, not like I was, but you will start to see things will pick up, and there will be some new things, and really love for you to be able to take part in some of those. So that's probably the best way, and I'll make sure I reach back out to you, and you'll get to see some, like I said, some newsletters, just some this is going on, and most importantly, encouraging words for you to keep on moving in the right direction.
Wonderful. Thank you so much, Dr. Steph. Thank you for sharing your story. Thank you for exemplifying resilience and rest. Resilience and rest. That's what I hear when I'm listening to you and listening to your story and everything that you shared with us today. So I am grateful for all of it. Thank you so much. This has been amazing. Yes. And so, day ones, I know that you got a whole lot out of today's episode. Make sure that you subscribe and tune in, because May 1st, we have a whole new episode. So thankful. All right, Dr. Steph, thank you.
Thank you. Thank you, everyone. Thanks, Giselle.